Have you ever fallen into a repeating painful cycle of bad communication? You hold back your temper and try your best to speak sincerely and calmly, but before you finish half of your words, the conversation suddenly twists into a meaningless quarrel. Let's start with a scene almost every couple can relate to. You drag your exhausted body home after a full, busy workday. You step into the living room and look around the space. Dirty dinner plates pile high on the dining table. Crumpled clothes and tissue boxes scatter all over the sofa. Snack crumbs cover the floor with no one sweeping them away. You let out a soft sigh and turn to your partner slouched on the sofa, scrolling short videos. You speak in a tired tone. You never take the initiative to clean up the house. You just lie around playing your phone all day. The second these words come out, your partner grows irritated instantly. They drop their phone and snap back sharply. I worked a whole day too. I'm just as worn out as you. Why do you pick on me the second you walk in the door? A trivial chat about housework quickly turns into an argument full of blame and resentment. This type of conflict does not only happen between lovers, it repeats constantly in workplaces, parent-child talks, and daily friendships. Let's look at typical workplace communication troubles. You get 3 urgent projects assigned in 1 week and work overtime until midnight every single night. Your mental energy drains completely, and you start panicking about failing to deliver qualified work. You gather courage to talk to your supervisor about adjusting your workload reasonably. You say directly, "The current work arrangement is unreasonable. I have far too many tasks stacked on my plate and cannot finish them in limited time." Instead of understanding your heavy pressure, your supervisor immediately judges you negatively. They think you only complain and lack pressure resistance, labeling you an employee who avoids challenges. Your reasonable request gets rejected outright, and your impression in their mind drops sharply. Parent-child communication falls into the same painful trap. Your child throws the school bag down after school and grabs a tablet or phone right away. All textbooks and homework lie untouched on the desk for hours. You grow anxious and raise your voice to criticize. You are undisciplined and addicted to electronics. You never prioritize homework and only care about playing all day. The child either stays silent and shuts down or shouts back with rebellious words to defend themselves. No matter how much genuine care you pour out, none of your advice sinks in at all. Even close friends will make you feel lonely and unheard. When you are weighed down by sadness, self-doubt, and accumulated frustration, you open up all your hidden pain to your best friend, hoping for gentle comfort and empathy. But what you receive is a casual, dismissive reply. "You are just overthinking small things. Cheer up and stop being sensitive." Your heavy heart gets no comfort at all, leaving you more isolated and misunderstood than before. Have you sat alone at night after fights, wondering why every simple talk ends in conflict? You never start a conversation to argue or hurt others' feelings. All you want is to express your true inner thoughts calmly and peacefully. You've watched countless communication videos online and memorized many polite lines to avoid conflict. Yet every time you face tense real-life moments, you unconsciously slip into blame-based dialogue again. Most online creators give shallow, misleading conclusions. You cannot make others listen because you lack eloquence or read the atmosphere poorly. This ignores the core psychological logic of human communication. Here is a truth 90% of people never figure out. Others shut down not because you lack speaking skills, but because you unconsciously fall into violent communication in every conversation. Even if your voice sounds soft, once your words carry subjective judgment and negative labeling, the listener's brain activates strong psychological defense within a split second. All their focus shifts to finding counter-arguments to refute you, with no space to absorb your real emotions and demands. Today, we will fully unpack the four-step nonviolent communication framework created by psychologist Marshall Rosenberg. We won't teach fake flattering lines, nor ask you to suppress your true feelings for superficial harmony. This logic applies to couples, office talks, parent-child education, and friendships. Follow these four progressive steps, and you can dissolve others' inner resistance layer by layer, making them listen to you patiently. Before diving into the steps, let's understand why judgment triggers instant resistance. Stanford University once ran a long-term human behavior tracking experiment on communication. Volunteers were split into two groups for months of recording. Group 1 relied heavily on judgment, labeling, and criticism in daily talks. Their effective listening rate was merely 18%. That means out of 10 sentences you speak. Others truly absorb less than 2, treating all the rest as accusations. Group 2 learned to state objective facts and express genuine feelings without judgment. Their effective listening rate jumped to 78%, and quarrel frequency dropped by 2/3. This huge gap comes from human self-protection instinct. Once our brain receives negative judgment targeting ourselves, it switches to combat mode to guard self-esteem. We stop caring about the speaker's struggles and only focus on proving we are not wrong. The real core goal of communication is not winning arguments to decide who is right or wrong. It is to convey inner emotions accurately, explain hidden needs clearly, and find mutually acceptable ways to solve conflicts peacefully. Yet most people waste every conversation arguing over trivial right and wrong, forgetting their original purpose of talking. Step 1. Separate objective observable facts from subjective judgment. This is the #1 communication pitfall almost everyone steps into unconsciously. Humans automatically attach qualitative labels to every person and incident. We blurt absolute negative phrases like "you are always lazy," "you never care about me." Words such as "always" never carry extreme all-or-nothing generalizations. The moment listeners hear them, they instantly find angles to deny your whole statement. Take housework as direct comparison. Violent judgment. You lie on the sofa scrolling phones every day after work. You never lift a finger to tidy the house. Neutral observation. For 5 consecutive evenings this week, dinner plates and scattered clothes were left uncleaned after meals. The judgment sticks an irresponsible label on your partner, pushing them to argue within 10 seconds. The observation only records tangible, visible reality without positive or negative comments, leaving them no ground to defend against plain facts. Workplace delay comparison. Judgment. You are a chronic procrastinator who never respects team deadlines. Observation. The 3 projects you submitted recently were all handed past the agreed delivery time. Sybil rule for step 1. Only write what your eyes see. Specific time and frequency. Cut all subjective adjectives judging others' character or morality. Clearing judgment labels removes the biggest barrier of smooth communication. Step 2. Separate genuine inner feelings from biased assumptions. After mastering objective observation, many people ask how to properly express uncomfortable feelings. Most people mix emotions and blame when opening up about pain. Sentences like "you made me disappointed" are not pure emotional expression. Disappointment comes from the gap between your preset expectations and others' behavior, belonging to subjective thought rather than raw inner feeling. Standard pure emotional vocabulary for daily use. Worn out, wronged, anxious, lonely, uneasy, irritable, relieved. Correct sentence structure only describes your own inner state without shifting blame to others. Housework contrast again. In fact, blame statement. You refuse to do housework every day, and I feel disappointed in you. Correct feeling statement. Handling all cleaning by myself every day leaves me worn out and deeply wronged. The first line aims all blame at your partner, pushing them to defend immediately. The second only shares your personal experience. Human beings never build defenses against someone showing vulnerability. Workplace pressure contrast. Wrong blaming expression. The supervisor piles endless work on me and makes me furious. Right feeling focused expression. Being assigned 3 urgent projects at once fills me with heavy anxiety, and I fear I cannot guarantee high work standards. This step is where most communication breakdowns happen. Stuck in judgment mode. People cannot separate true feelings from criticism, so others refuse to listen. Step 3. Dig out hidden core needs under negative emotion, stating facts and sharing feelings only win temporary sympathy, unable to fix recurring long-term conflicts. Every quarrel, grievance, and restlessness has an emotional outer shell, with an unmet core need underneath, creating all friction. Most people only vent tiredness repeatedly without clarifying what they truly desire. Without knowing your core needs, others can only guess blindly, and identical conflicts repeat forever. Core need breakdown for common scenarios. Housework conflict. Surface feeling tired and wronged. Core need for equal shared family responsibility and recognition of your hard work, parent-child screen conflict. Surface feeling irritable and worried. Core need for children to build regular healthy study habits, overloaded office work. Surface feeling anxious and burnt out. Core need for reasonable, balanced task distribution. Cold romantic interaction. Surface feeling lonely. Core need for steady companionship and being valued. We can string step 1, 2, and 3 into a complete dialogue segment for housework conflict. Observation. For 5 consecutive evenings this week, dinner plates and scattered clothes were left uncleaned after meals. Feeling. Handling all cleaning by myself every day leaves me worn out and deeply wronged. Need. I hope we split household chores evenly and recognize each other's tiredness from daily work. At this stage, the listener's defensive resistance fades almost completely. They fully grasp the objective situation, your inner suffering, and the value you uphold in the relationship. Step 4. Put forward specific actionable requests. Distinguish requests from mandatory orders. Many people stop talking after stating needs and still fail to reach ideal communication results. This is the most overlooked blind spot, ignored by most online communication creators. A core need is your ideal balanced state in a relationship. A request is a small concrete action you hope others cooperate with. Most people confuse the two, putting forward vague, sweeping demands that trigger rebellious mindsets instantly. Multiple paired contrast examples covering daily scenes. Housework. Command. You need to take on more housework from now on. Gentle request. Could you take charge of washing dinner dishes after each meal while I sweep the floor and wipe the table? Parent-child study. Mandatory order. Put your phone away and finish homework early every day. Consultative request. Can we put electronics aside from 7 to 8 every evening to focus on assignments together? Work task adjustment. Harsh demand. Cut down my assigned tasks immediately. Mild request. When new last-minute tasks arrive later, could you allocate them to colleagues with lighter schedules or extend my deadlines properly? 3 fixed rules for valid requests. First, the content must be a single tangible action instead of ambiguous generalizations. Second, attach clear fixed timeframes to avoid confusion. Third, adopt soft consultative wording like can we, could you, reserving independent choice space for the other party. Full integrated 4-step template for couple house conflict. For 5 consecutive evenings this week, dinner plates and scattered clothes were left uncleaned after our meals. Handling all cleaning by myself every day leaves me worn out and deeply wronged. I hope we split household chores evenly and recognize each other's tiredness from daily work. Could you take charge of washing all dinner dishes after each meal, while I sweep the floor and wipe the dining table? This paragraph contains 0 accusations, negative labels, or quarrelsome language. You state facts, share emotions, explain needs, and put forward mild consultation in order. Your partner will never feel attacked and will naturally understand your hardships to adjust habits voluntarily. 3 universal pitfalls you must avoid. Pitfall 1. Add threatening punishment to your final request. Wrong example. If you refuse to wash dishes every night, I will stop cooking entirely. Punishment words erase all peaceful atmosphere built through the first 3 steps and turn negotiation into confrontation. Pitfall 2. Ramble on repeating negative emotions endlessly. Continuous repetitive complaints make others mentally fatigued, losing all willingness to empathize with your situation. Pitfall 3. Propose overly vague, empty demands with no clear actions. Phrases like "be more considerate" or "take more responsibility" give listeners no definite direction, leading to endless, repeated conflicts. Key practice reminder: this 4-step framework is a gradual 2-way adjustment process. Do not expect a single 10-minute talk to completely change others' long-term living and thinking habits. Gentle, repeated expression over multiple daily exchanges will slowly shift their behavior over time. Never feel discouraged if you see no instant results after your first try. This method still works even during heated, explosive quarrels. When both sides are trapped in angry blame, take the initiative to pause the conflict voluntarily. Recite your dialogue following observation, feeling, need, and request in order. First, describe the tense incident objectively, share your inner restlessness, explain your need for mutual tolerance, and put forward a gentle resolution request. This simple shift puts an immediate end to meaningless emotional friction. Long-term positive changes from consistent practice. If you keep practicing NVC long-term, 2 obvious improvements will appear in your life. First, you gradually break the subconscious habit of criticizing others the moment you speak. Your cortisol, the stress hormone spiking during conflicts, will stabilize at a healthy level, reducing chronic anxiety, late-night insomnia, and endless mental internal friction caused by failed communication. Second, family members, colleagues, and friends will grow far more willing to slow down and listen to your genuine inner thoughts. You no longer need to lower your self-worth and cater blindly to others just to gain basic respect and understanding in daily interactions. Many online videos spread misunderstandings of high EQ communication. They claim elite communicators are slick and overly tactful to everyone. But Marshall Rosenberg writes clearly in Nonviolent Communication. Top masters of human interaction are not the chattiest people. They are those who state plain, objective facts without bias and express sincere emotions without pointing fingers and blaming others. The ultimate value of every conversation is never winning an argument to judge right or wrong. It is building a bridge of mutual empathy, letting both sides see hidden vulnerability and genuine inner desires under each other's words. You do not need to flatter strangers or suppress your true thoughts to avoid small conflicts. Speak gently yet firmly while laying out your heart clearly, and others will listen carefully without resentment. If you always fall into self-doubt after quarrels and feel no one truly understands you, leave the phrase "communicate gently" in the comment section below. We can share communication troubles and learn better expression habits together. If this 4-step nonviolent communication framework brings you practical insight, like and share this video with family and friends who often get stuck in pointless fights. Subscribe to receive weekly psychology and personal growth content.